survival is not always the result of strength. Sometimes it is the result of weakness at precisely the right moment, of the failure that keeps something out of the place where the catastrophe is waiting. The history of human survival is full of stories like this. The man who missed the train that crashed, the soldier recalled from the front the day before the offensive, the person who overslept and arrived late to a building that was destroyed before they reached it. We call this luck, and we understand it as arbitrary, as the random distribution of good and bad outcomes across a population in ways that have no moral content, that do not reflect the virtue or the worth of the individuals who happen to be in one place rather than another when something decisive occurred. Machines do not have luck in the sense that people have luck. They do not survive because they were virtuous or because the universe was on their side. They survive because the physical circumstances of their existence put them in places where the forces that destroy machines were not present, and the physical circumstances of other machines put those machines in the places where those forces were present. And the distribution of outcomes follows from the distribution of physical circumstances in ways that have no moral content, and that we describe as luck because we do not have a better word for the operation of chance in physical systems. The locomotive that survived its own accident was a member of the London and North Western Railway's Precursor class, a family of express passenger engines introduced in 1904 that served the West Coast Main Line between London and the north of England, with the reliability and competence that the class had been designed to provide. The locomotive was named Autocrat, one of a series of names that the LNWR drew from classical and historical sources for its express fleet, and it had been in service for 3 years when the events that define its history occurred. The events began on a September morning in 1907, when Autocrat was scheduled to haul an express service from Liverpool to London Euston. The assignment was routine, the kind of working that Autocrat performed several times a week, and the preparation for it proceeded in the normal way. The locomotive brought to the depot, the fire lit, the boiler brought to working pressure, while the crew attended to the pre-departure checks that ensured the machine was fit for the day's service. The pre-departure check identified a problem. The specific nature of the problem is recorded in the depot maintenance log as a defect in the steam distribution gear, a fault in the valve mechanism that the examining fitter assessed as requiring immediate attention before the locomotive could be taken out on a main line express working. The assessment was conservative in the sense that the defect might have been managed through careful operation for at least some portion of the day's service, but the fitter who identified it made the judgment that it represented a condition that should be addressed rather than managed, and the duty inspector concurred. Autocrat was removed from the service and placed in the depot workshop for attention. A substitute locomotive, a member of the same class named Marquis, was prepared and dispatched to take the working. The passengers boarding the express at Liverpool were unaware that anything had changed. The locomotive at the head of their train was a different machine from the one originally assigned, but this was not information that the railway communicated to its passengers in ordinary circumstances. The express departed Liverpool on schedule. Autocrat remained in the depot workshop, its valve mechanism being addressed by the fitter, whose careful attention to the pre-departure check had removed it from the service. What happened to Marquis and the express it was hauling that morning is part of the documented history of the LNWR's operational record from the period, though it has not attracted the attention that more catastrophic accidents received in the railway history literature. The accident was serious enough to destroy the locomotive and to cause injuries to crew and passengers, serious enough to trigger an official investigation and to produce recommendations about track condition and signalling that had consequences for the railway's operating procedures. It was not so catastrophic as to produce the scale of casualties that would have made it a reference point in the history of railway safety. Marquis was destroyed. The locomotive that had been assigned to the service and had been removed for a valve defect survived intact in the workshop where it was being repaired. The inquiry that followed the accident focused on the circumstances of the accident itself, the track condition and the speed and the signalling, rather than on the sequence of locomotive substitution that had placed Marquis on the service rather than Autocrat. There was no reason to focus on the substitution. The substitution was routine, the normal response to a locomotive identified as requiring maintenance before a service, and nothing in the accident's causation was related to the specific identity of the locomotive involved. Marquis was destroyed because it was in the wrong place, not because it was Marquis. Autocrat returned to service after its repairs and continued working on West Coast Main Line Express services for another decade. Its operational record in those years shows nothing that distinguishes it from the other members of its class. The normal pattern of express workings and periodic maintenance, and the gradual accumulation of mileage that characterized a well-maintained express engine in regular service. It was withdrawn from service in 1920 and scrapped in the normal course of fleet renewal. The connection between Autocrat's survival and Marquis' destruction was not invisible to the people involved. The driver and fireman who had prepared Autocrat that morning and who had been reassigned when the valve defect was found understood clearly that they had not been on Marquis when the accident occurred, and why. The fitter who had identified the defect and recommended the locomotive's removal from service understood that his decision had kept Autocrat and its crew out of the accident. These understandings were real and were expressed in the informal communications of the depot community in the days following the accident. What none of these understandings could resolve was the question that the accident made unavoidable, the question that arises whenever survival and destruction are separated by the thin margin of a mechanical defect and a fitter's judgment. The question of why one machine survived and another was destroyed, when both were competent machines of the same class, doing the same work, has no answer that goes beyond the description of physical circumstances. The circumstances were what they were. Autocrat had a valve defect that required attention. Marquis did not. Marquis took the service. The service encountered the conditions that destroyed it. The fitter who identified Autocrat's defect was not making a decision about survival when he wrote his report and recommended the locomotive's removal from service. He was doing his job, applying his knowledge of the locomotive's mechanical condition to the question of whether it was fit for the day's working. The answer he arrived at was no, and that answer set in motion the sequence of events that kept Autocrat in the depot while Marquis went to the service. His judgment was about the locomotive's mechanical fitness. The consequences of his judgment extended beyond the locomotive's mechanical fitness in ways that neither he nor anyone else involved could have anticipated. This is the aspect of the story that resists the frameworks we use to understand events. We want the survival of Autocrat to mean something, to be the result of something that can be identified and understood and perhaps replicated, to be evidence that the universe distributed its outcomes according to some principle that we can identify and work with. We want the fitter's decision to have been not just mechanically correct, but morally significant, to have been the right decision in a sense that encompasses its consequences as well as its immediate technical reasoning. But the fitter did not know about the accident that was waiting for the service he was deciding to remove Autocrat from. He could not have known. His decision was technically correct for reasons that had nothing to do with the accident, and the fact that the technically correct decision also happened to be the survival decision was a coincidence in the precise sense. The alignment of two causal sequences that had no structural connection, that happened to intersect in the specific outcome of a locomotive being in a workshop rather than on a main line. Survival is not always the result of strength. Sometimes it is the result of a valve defect found at the right moment, a fitter doing his job correctly, a deputy locomotive assigned in the normal course of events, and the particular way that all of these ordinary things aligned on a September morning in 1907 to put one locomotive in a workshop and another on a service that ended in destruction. Autocrat survived for 13 more years and was then scrapped in the normal course of railway operations. Nothing in its subsequent record distinguished it from any other member of the precursor class. It was a competent express locomotive that performed its assigned duties and was eventually retired and melted down. Marquis was destroyed. Its components were not salvaged in any documented way. It disappeared from the railway's operational record on the morning of the accident and did not return. The distance between those two outcomes was the width of a valve defect, the judgment of a fitter, and the administrative process of locomotive substitution that the LNWR used to manage equipment failures in the normal course of daily operations. That is all. That is everything. Survival, when it comes down to it, is often that narrow. The margin between the locomotive that was there and the locomotive that wasn't is sometimes nothing more than the mechanical condition that kept one of them out of the place where the other one was destroyed. We call it luck because we do not have a better word. The word is accurate. It is just not sufficient.